Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about racial states, how you unlock them, how you level them, all those kind of things. What's the search bar? We're going to find out today. So to get right into it, you're going to be unlocking your racial state, the base racial state, your base form. You're going to be unlocking that by doing MQ712, or the last quest of the Turles Saga. So when you're doing that quest, when you start the quest, when the enemy spawns, you will go into the racial state with this cool looking cinematic that's on screen now. Once you go into it, you're going to be fighting him in that. But it is important to note you only unlock it after you finish the quest. Next, let's talk about Surge and kind of what that does for you. So the Surge bar is this little mechanic. We used to call it Rage bar early in development because we based it on Broly. Like, you know, when Broly's getting punched or punching someone, he's getting more angry. He's hulking out, if you will. So with that in mind, this bar is going to build up as you're fighting. You're taking damage, you're dealing damage, it's going to build up. The rates are on screen. So as it builds up, you're going to go from 0 to 15%. That percent is a multiplier. So you're just going to get stronger as it goes up. More defense, more strength, all your little stats that are affected by forms usually. So when it gets to 100%, like filled, like the bar is full, there's a visual on screen. It's up there by the health bar. So once it fills up, it's going to double from 15 to 30%, which means very strong. And once it gets there, it's going to maintain that 30% all the way down as it just drains. The drain speed is constant. It's just a static drain. Nothing can change it. So it'll just go down, and when it hits 0, there's no cooldown. You can build it right up again. So it's going to go the whole fight. You're going to go from 0 to 15 and then double it to 30, and then you're drained down. Okay, now let's talk about getting racial states for your actual forms, not just the base. So tier 1, 2, and 3, as I'm going to refer to them, are Super Saiyan 1, 2, and 3, okay? So every race has these 3-tier forms leading up to, you know, God form is past those. So this applies to every race. I'm going to use Saiyan just because it's the easiest. Everyone understands that, and the most people play it, okay? So let's talk about how I get that. So first off, you're going to want level 2 of whatever form you're using. So if it's Super Saiyan 1, 2, or 3, just level 2 of it. And then what you're going to want to do is take some damage. Just get beat up, right? Get beat to a bloody pulp. The lower health you are, the higher chance you have of going into these racial states, okay? So a flicker, what is that? Well, it's just a little tick. You need 5 of them. You need 5 flickers to go into the racial state. This will show in your mastery menu. A little mysterious show. It will show amount out of question mark. The amount's 5. Another way to get flickers besides taking damage is going into the form, right? So you can go into the form or you can take damage. Again, the lower health, the better for the taking damage part. Lower health, higher chance. Numbers on screen. Okay. Moving forward. Do I need to like get Super Saiyan 1 legendary before Super Saiyan 2 legendary? No. You can get them in whatever order you want. You can go get legendary Super Saiyan tier 3 before tier 1. It doesn't particularly matter, right? Let's talk about XP and leveling. XP comes from building up your surge bar. Once you do that, you're just going to get 25 XP. It's that simple. But to get XP and level the form at all, the racial state, you need to have the form. The underlying form needs to be 1 level higher at all times. So if a racial state's level 1 and Super Saiyan's only level 2, because you like, I don't know, maybe you just got it, you cannot get level 2 legendary until you have level 3 Super Saiyan, okay? So keep that in mind. That does mean the current level cap for forms being 6. You can only have level 5 racial state. That's the current max for racial states, okay? So if you add level 4 Super Saiyan, you can only have level 3 racial state, and so on. So now let's just show you guys some of the visuals for these things. What do they look like? What do the other races look like? Well, I'm just going to quickly show them. Okay, we're going to do a quick show through here. So obviously you got the humans. They're called augmented human. The design was inspired by androids originally, but then we kind of strayed away from that because we didn't really want to use the android idea on this, especially since our design ended up not really feeling like android. Like it was renamed pretty late in development because we were just like, didn't really feel like android because most of the androids in Dragon Ball aren't really cybernetic. That kind of stopped happening past OG Dragon Ball, right? So some neat little augmentations there. They look cool. They glow based on the color of their aura. It's nice. Now let's talk about Saiyans. Broly, I don't know. Tier 1 is the Type C, the blue hair one. Tier 2 is legendary, but a little bit chiller. And then Tier 3 is proper full-on Broly. This is Z legendary. Let's talk about Namekians. Namekians become dragons. So they get these little scales building up along them, right? So as you go up, their scales will just build up more and more on the face and all that as you go up in the tiers. The coloring is based upon your selected skin coloring for your Namekian, so it's going to be unique for everybody, right? Now talking about Arcosians, they got metal. So in your base form, you're going to be meta core, which is like the big cooler from the movie, right? Like the actual metal cooler, not the little robot dudes he let out, ironic as that is. It'll be that. And in base form, and then second form, and third form, you're just going to be that form, but that. So it's pretty cool. It just applies it. You know, you still get to look like second and third form with the cool meta core design based on your colors. And then metal final form, right? Like just the full thing is going to be chromatic. So it just uses your beam color, does some hue, saturation, brightness shifting to get you this kind of chrome color. I think it looks pretty cool. The shine looks amazing. I do want to mention that each body type, I think the 3 of them, all have their own little differences. They're all slightly different in these racial states, okay? The metal racial states. Now talking about Majin. Genie was the inspiration. We pulled this because, well, Majin was pretty hard to come up with. We're like, what can Majin be? And then we're like, okay, well, the origins of Majin was literally genies. He was trapped in a ball, and he's a genie, straight up, right? So thinking on that topic, we were like, okay, let's just do genie. Let's give them little armbands. So the armbands are supposed to be power constrictors, okay? The power constrictors will basically hold back the power, and as they come off, there's steam coming out, because that's a big thing for the Majin race, right? As we've seen from Boo. So as you take off all these bands, they'll get more steam. That on screen now. So it just builds up until they eventually have a bunch and whatever it is, right? Like all the little lines and all that. And now finally, I want to give a shout out to Doc on our Discord back on November 12th. They went ahead and posted a racial state guide. Doc set up this document, this guide for racial states. Very in-depth, lots of details there. If you guys want to go, if you'd prefer a written guide, read that. Recommend that to your friends instead of the video, okay? I'll link it down below. It's a Discord message, so it's a little annoying. But hey, they did that 2 months ago, so way before I got around to this video, so thank you to them. I was very busy during that time, so that helped quench people's, like, I see like every day someone asks and someone links the guide. So that's helped out people greatly, and thank you, Doc.